I hear them talking in the streets, but they don't say the real. We really debating the industry and what the sixer feel. Cold shoulders turn to open arms when you on for real. Ain't no strangers to the bricks. Now let's build something for real. It's too real, real, it's too real, real, it's too real.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's E from It's Too Real, the podcast. This is the It's Too Real Top 10 Toronto Rappers. In Toronto, it's kind of hard to really tell who's the hottest rapper and who's the best rapper, you know what I mean? Because traditionally in hip-hop, how we tell who's the hottest rapper, obviously we look at the music, the lyrics and stuff. You know what I mean? Who's lyrical, who has the greatest impact in the game, who has the best sales, who has the highest sales, who's been platinum, who's on the radio, who's touring. You know what I mean? We can't do that in our city. You know what I mean? In Toronto, we can't do that because we don't have any infrastructure. We don't have any radio station, and when we did have a radio station, it never played our local artists. You know what I mean? Especially the street artists, they can't get booked. They can't have shows. So I try to use things like views and listens. I feel like views and listens is something that in the city that's a universal currency as far as success. You know what I mean? Because if you hear rappers talk, you go on any rapper's social media, hear any rapper that's doing their thing or feels they're doing their thing, be like, yo, just got 60K views in a week, just touch 100,000 views in a week, finally hit a milli, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's one of the biggest metrics we can use to gauge success as far as listens and spins. So I went on each artist's SoundCloud, I looked at their followers, I looked at all their plays, I went on their YouTube, looked at their subscribers, I went on their Instagram, looked at their followers. I went on their Twitters, looked at their followers. So I want to see how big these people have followings. You know what I mean? I made sure everybody has real followers. This ain't bot. All the people on the list are legit. They deserve to be there. I also looked at cosigns. In the city of Toronto, we respect cosigns. Everybody respects a cosign here. Because, I don't know, it's just the perception of you see somebody from your city standing beside somebody successful who's already doing their thing, a millionaire. You just think that they're a millionaire. They're about to be a millionaire too. I've seen it happen all the time in the city, you know what I mean? Artist gets beside Drake, and that's when you start bumping their music. And they've been hot, you know what I mean? They've been doing their thing, but the artist gets beside somebody like Meek, gets beside somebody like J. Cole or Kendrick or something like that, and then that's just public perception in Toronto. It's like, yo, we've never seen our artists get so far and do certain things. So you see a cosign, and that's the bell. So I took in cosigns. I took in how many times you're on the blogs, popularity. Are people checking for your music? Are people asking about you? Are people talking about you on Twitter? Are people streaming your music as far as like putting your pictures up? Like I typed in your names on social medias, man. I did a lot of research as far as this top 10 list. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of my list. This is the It's Too Real Top 10. And yeah, we about to get into it right now. Jaywehrs of Prime. Jaywehrs is a downtown rapper. He's a member of Prime. You know, Prime is a popular group, a popular movement that has affiliations with OVO. You know, like the most popular member of the group is Jimmy Prime. But Jaywehrs is different. He has a different style from Jimmy. Sometimes he dabbles in auto-tune and stuff, but he's a traditional rapper. When I mean traditional, I mean that he's actually a rapper that raps, you know what I mean? He has lyrics, he spits. He's on this young fly nigga shit, you know what I mean? Talks to the bitches, talks about living a lavish lifestyle. But he's definitely somebody who has a great beat selection, you know what I mean? He knows how to pick beats. His production is probably one of the best on this list. He doesn't necessarily fill out the cosign criteria, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's a member of Prime. He worked through Murder Beats, but I haven't seen Drake say, yo, go fuck with this guy personally or like that. You haven't really seen him get those cosigns, but just based off of who he is, being a Prime member, he definitely shines whenever he gets the chance on the mic, you know what I mean? His standout tracks to me, personally, is Driven with Safe. He just dropped a track recently called Welcome to the Life, and my favorite track by him is Time Flies with Jimmy and Smoke Dogg. Like, that track was on repeat all the time, you know what I mean? I definitely believe Jaywehrs belongs on this list, man. You go look at his SoundCloud, he has all the right plays. His Instagram is lit, you know what I mean? He's got enough followers. He has real followers, people that are checking for his music and commenting and saying they want more music. He has his social media is right, as well as his music, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's definitely belongs on this list. Darrin Falana, formerly known as The Flam, is a Brampton rapper who probably out of all the rappers on this list may be the least popular, but I feel like he matched so many other things in the criteria, and his upside is just so ginormous that I feel that he deserves to be on this list because back in 2016 he hit 1 million plays on Spotify and 2 million on SoundCloud. Recently he just dropped These Days, the audio journal, and it's getting so many great reviews. He was recently just featured on Pigeons and Plain blog. He's a constant fixture on Hot New Hip Hop, always very hot, always. Yeah, maybe his Instagram and his Twitter aren't as large as other rappers on this list, but he's definitely a different rapper. I feel his progress may be a little slower than others, but that's because he's into a different style. He's like, Darrin Falana is like the traditional rapper. You know what I mean? The rappers that we rarely see. You know what I mean? I hate to put him in the category with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and guys like that, but he's definitely that type of rapper. He's an introspective rapper. He likes to tell stories. He likes to give his perspective on life, share his thoughts. You know what I mean? How he's living. Like, that's the type of rapper he is. He's not aiming to make music for the club or making music to get people to dance. He has songs like Bet, just good feel music, you know what I mean? But he's definitely on this list. 15,000 SoundCloud followers, over millions of plays, man. Like, Spotify. Now, he's definitely somebody who in the next year or two, he should be known throughout the whole world, not just Toronto, not Canada, not just the States, throughout the whole world. I think he's built a core fan base, you know what I mean? And just like J. Cole and them, he's on his way slowly. He's not doing this in a rush, you know what I mean? 15,000 SoundCloud followers, millions of plays, Pigeons and Planes. He's been picked up on blogs, picked up by Noisy. Sky's the limit for this guy, you know what I mean? He's also one of the artists that can travel to the States. So definitely, I'm waiting to see what Darrin Falana has in store, you know what I'm saying? But definitely go check out his new EP, These Days audio journal, and Live from Rocky Mountain. That was a very good mixtape right there. Live from Rocky Mountain. Young Tory, man, I was blind to it, to be honest, because I used to see him on M-Works channel and numerous other channels, and I listened to the music. I didn't think it was shit or nothing, but I didn't pay attention to it, you know what I mean? But like I said, in the city of Toronto, we're different. So his music is definitely, if you're into the Atlanta sound or you're into the trap sound, you can definitely fuck with Young Tory's music. But like I said, we respect Cosign so much, you know what I mean? So Young Tory kept buzzing and buzzing, then he caught the attention of Lil Durk, and he signed to OTF, Lil Durk's label. I don't really feel like, to me, I don't think that's a great move. As far as, it's a better move than the position you're in, being on a label, being under somebody who has notoriety and success. But I don't know if Lil Durk is gonna change his career that much from what he was actually doing. I don't know if Lil Durk's gonna put out a budget and be like, oh, this is what we're gonna do to market your music and put you out. I feel like Young Durk's just gonna say, keep doing what you're doing and get hot. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, Young Tory's definitely built a buzz for himself, built a name for himself, built a fan base for himself. Everything that Toronto rappers should do, he's in that category right now. You know what I mean? He's got 7.2 thousand SoundCloud followers, over hundreds and thousands of plays on his music. He just dropped a mixtape recently, Free Dope, dropped like 3 months ago. It's got consistent plays, man. So I can't deny him. He also got Lil Durk to jump on the Run It Up remix, even though it was already at 400,000 plus plays already. The Lil Durk one's been out for like 2-3 months now, and it's at 277,000. Like, he's doing his thing out here. I can't lie. You know what I mean? I don't know how the OTF thing helps, but he is a brand in Toronto. People do know him. He is a face that people recognize, and Water is a good song. Like, I don't want to say a hit song because obviously I don't know if he's making money off of it, but Water is a million plays. It's a catchy song. It's a song that you could definitely hear on radio. He's talented. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? In the space where music is today, where Young Thug is doing so many things with flows and effects on your voice, he could be very successful. So I definitely think Young Tory can be a star, and he's also a rapper that can travel to the States. So he definitely has that advantage in his favor. 31 400,000 plus Instagram followers. Yeah, man, he's doing his thing. I can't lie, he's doing his thing. So I think Young Tory definitely deserves to be on this list. Next, we have Smoke Dogg. Smoke Dogg's a part of Halal Gang. He has heavy affiliation with Prime and OVO. When Prime and Halal Gang link up, they become full circle. You know what I mean? He's dropped songs under the label Full Circle, under that name with Prime. Smoke Dogg first came on the scene with the song Still by the Robber. You know what I mean? Everybody knew that song. It was him and Moji. That was I like that song. It was a real big song because it was so original. It was real Toronto. You know what I mean? It was talking that Toronto talk. Still by the Robber, still moving product, moving lava, hot. You know what I mean? Like that real Toronto talk. You know what I mean? So it was something that was definitely original. And it was heating up in the city, and it found its way to the UK. You know what I mean? And you know the UK and Toronto link up. And this was back then. Gigs jumped on it back then. You know what I mean? So that definitely helped him gain more notoriety, and that was great for him. Then he finally dropped the next song called Trap House. And when he dropped that Trap House song, like, that was my favorite song for the summer, like, over everything. Like, that was my favorite song for the summer. Like, 2 summers ago, man, that was the shit. And I kept telling people about that song. And that song right now is at 2.8 million. You know what I mean? So it definitely was a big song. That song caught the attention of French Montana. French Montana jumped on the song. The only thing about that, I felt like that song could have been a lot bigger, and Smoke Dogg probably would have been in a lot bigger right now if after, like, basically during that song was the song that got Moji popping. You know what I mean? Moji was doing the Ginobili dance in that song, and it was just like the energy he had around him. It was just like the video, everything about the video and everything about Moji at the time, whatever the dance he was doing, it just, people just caught on. You know what I mean? And he got a lot of the attention, and it didn't translate into attention for the song, which was a hit to me. Like, I felt like that song could have really been a hit. Like, it was very catchy. It had everything, the cadence and everything, but it got lost in the whole Moji thing, you know what I mean? But he still found a way to get French Montana on it, and he still got 2.8 million views till today. Other than that, he's worked with Skepta. He's dropped the song overseas with Skepta. Right now it's at 400,000 plus. He was on the Boy Meets World tour with Drake in Europe, you know what I mean? So his resume is definitely up there, you know what I mean? And as far as popularity, I feel like he's probably one of the most popular rappers on this list. Only reason why I feel like he couldn't be a little further on the list is that because we haven't got a lot of music for Smoke Dogg. He's done a lot of features. He's done a couple features on set with Safe. He's done a feature with Jaywehrs and, you know, the Full Circle, but he hasn't put out a full project yet, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to gauge how the people feel, you know what I mean? Trap House, like I'm saying, that was a big song. I feel like that's his biggest song till today. Overseas with Skepta is big. Like, he's done a lot of great things as far as touring with Drake. He's built his name up, you know what I mean? Him and Puffy, man, they've broken some barriers as far as Toronto artists. Like, I don't know any other Toronto artists that went to Fire in the Booth, you know what I mean, in England. They're on Converse ads downtown Toronto, so they're doing things even outside of music, which is definitely helping their brand. So you know what I mean. So Smoke Dogg definitely deserves to be on this list. He was on Murder Beats project, dropped the Flippin' Joint, Count It Up. I like Count It Up. Count It Up. That's a big track. I fuck with that. You know what I mean. So I feel like he definitely deserves to be on this list, and I'm pretty sure everybody else feels the same way too. Next is Casper. Casper is another downtown rapper. Casper definitely deserves to be on this list because he's a guy that has gotten no cosigns in the city. You know what I mean? And I see that he takes pride on that. You see him tweet about it a lot, saying I'm the only rapper in the city that didn't get a cosign. But he's definitely built a cult-like following. Like, he has fans on Twitter always saying we want shows, begging him for music. You know, he's the type of guy to be like, yo, he'll get those retweets from his fans. Be like, yo, retweet this 500 times if you want this music, you know what I mean? And he has that type of response. He has people that are checking for his music, and his music's actually good, you know what I mean? He's I don't want to say he's just like Future, you know what I mean? But he does use auto-tune. But he has his own unique style, and he has lyrics though. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize. Once you get past the auto-tune too, you can hear the bars. He's saying a lot of stuff. I definitely fuck with Casper. He has music you can vibe to. And once again, in Toronto, we love views and numbers, right? You know what I mean? You can go to his YouTube. He's got a couple tracks to touch the million. He's got a couple tracks to touch the 500,000. You go to SoundCloud, hundreds of thousands of plays on the SoundCloud. You know what I mean? But the standout tracks to me that I like are That Nigga, Know Me, I Know. He just dropped a new track called Burberry Closet. Like, and the thing about Casper too, he definitely has a lot of bodies of work. He has Dope Boy the album. He's got MG4L, I think 1 and 2. He's got a lot of mixtapes out there, and he's about to drop something new too. So you can definitely say, you can judge him, and you can see that he definitely has all the plays. He has the quality of music. Only thing he really doesn't have on this list is a cosign, but he's definitely built a real fan base, and you gotta respect it. Puffy Els. Puffy Els came out on the scene when Moji was still good with OVO. He's a member of Halal Gang. He dropped that track, Been Flexin'. And ever since then, he never looked back, to be honest. Yo, I don't know, man. If we talking numbers, the reason Puffy Els is just like Smoke Dogg, I do have the issue with him that he doesn't have a lot of music out, but he came out later than Smoke Dogg, so I'll give him that exception. And on top of that, if, like I said, in Toronto, there's one thing we respect numbers, you know what I mean? Even on that verse, he said, did 500,000 on my first track, and that was just, for the bitches, that was just a thirst trap. Ever since then, Puffy Els he's been killing out here as far as numbers, and obviously I'm gonna talk about the other things he's doing outside of music and things he's doing to build his brand. But as far as music, he's had Proper out for 7 months. That's over 1 million plays. Been Flexin', it's been out for a year, 1.8 million. Pull Up, been out for 10 months, 1.5 mil. And Riri, it's been out for a couple months, and that's a 700,000 plus. You know what I mean? So obviously his numbers is right. And the thing about Puffy, he hasn't missed yet. That's one thing I can say, is every track he's put out, he hasn't missed. I can definitely bop to it. But that's the thing about Puffy's music. He got that music you can rock to with catchy punchlines. You know what I mean? So he comes with those those catchy Toronto punchlines, and yeah, it's something you can bop to. He knows how to pick a good beat. He's part of Halal Gang. He has the affiliations. He has the cosign. He went on the Boy Meets World tour in Europe with Drake. Also, he has the Somali community backing him up, you know what I mean? So they go hard for him, you know what I mean? They love him, and they support. Like, they support their artists, as we'll talk about a couple artists on the list coming up. Puffy Els, man, I definitely feel he's somebody who deserves to be on this list. And if he had more music, he's about to drop a mixtape, Puffy Take No L's. Definitely waiting on that one. I feel he could be up on the list, because I feel he has star quality. He's always smiling. He's just like, you can just tell, like, he just has that. He has the qualities of stars. People just like to be around him. I don't know personally, but that's the vibe I get when I watch. You know what I mean, from what I'm seeing. So I definitely feel Puffy can be on this list. On top of what he's done with the Boy Meets World tour, he had a show at Ryerson, opened up for French Montana before that show. He opened up for A Boogie at Canadian Music Week. You know what I mean? He's doing things that Toronto artists don't necessarily get to do. You know what I mean? And this is why I put these people on this list, because music is one thing, but if we're trying to talk about who's up next, who's up and coming, these are the guys, and these are the guys making the moves. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's definitely got the cosigns. He fucks with Murder Beats. He fucks with Prime. So he's definitely one of those guys, and I expect a lot of big things from Puffy. I've seen him in the States. He's one of the guys that can cross the border. I expect big things from Puffy Els. So Puffy Take No L's, that mixtape, we waiting on it. Robin Banks. Robin Banks is one of the most popular Toronto rappers in and out the city. He's built a fan base for himself in the UK. He's built a fan base for himself in the States, particularly Minnesota, where there's a large Somalian fan base. He's done a lot of great things as far as a Toronto rapper who had no cosign. Of recent, we've seen Meek Mill show love to him, but other than that, he hasn't really got any cosign. He's just built himself from the ground up, man, and I feel he's one of the most consistent artists on this list, because he dropped entertainment, he's dropped steady tracks, he remixes tracks, the hot tracks that come out, hot beats. He started rapping, but now he sings. He's definitely somebody who, if we want to talk about views again, like, he's definitely somebody who touches million. I think he has like 3 or 4 tracks with 1 million plus plays. 29,000 Instagram followers. Like this is just ground up. He's somebody, no cosign, no radio, no blogs, like Noisy, Vice. They didn't pay attention. Fader, you know, a lot of the Toronto rappers that shouldn't even be getting a lot of. They don't even have these spins. Get some of the more publicity than this guy gets, and he just continues to thrive. That track Priceless is a smash. You know what I mean? If Toronto artists were able to get their songs on radio, Robin Banks would be on the radio every week, because he knows how to make records that everybody can vibe to. You know what I mean? And it's a different style. Like, and he just has his own style. We definitely gotta pray for Robin Banks. You know, we know he's been shot, and we pray he gets a better recovery. But he's definitely one of the stars from Toronto, and we hope he can get back to where he needs to be. But as I was saying, he's definitely somebody who deserves to be on this list as one of the most consistent and one of the hottest. You know what I mean? He makes some of the best music, and he's somebody that kids listen to in the city, grown folks listen to in the city. Like, his music, I've seen it with my own eyes, and I've heard it. So yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be here. Next, we have Come Down Collective, individually known as Castro and Fiji. Some of you might be like, who are these guys? Some of you guys are like, yeah, you're damn right. Some of you guys are probably like, why aren't they first? And some of you guys are like, yo, who the hell are these niggas? But listen, Castro and Fiji, man, Come Down Collective are something. If you go look, like, I can't explain it, because they've built their own thing downtown, and they're moving. Like, you won't understand if you're somebody like me who, at a time, I only used to get my Toronto music from YouTube. So I would only watch the videos and not go into SoundCloud and look for the other artists that are making music. These guys don't really care about making videos and stuff, so you're not gonna find them on YouTube. But they definitely are making noise out here. Their mixtape Atlanta is like one of the most. Yo, it's a classic to some people. You know what I mean? A lot of people online, hot new hip hop, pigeons and planes. They have a cult following, like a really cult following. And another thing I gotta give them credit for is that they've built themselves ground up, just like Robin Banks, just like Casper. These guys ain't got no cosign. They built themselves up, and they have a real fan base. These guys, allegedly, they're getting $3K a show, and that was like last year. So I don't know, the price probably gone up because they just dropped Castro vs Fiji. That's the new mixtape, which is hard. These guys have their own style. Like, they're gonna be big. Like, I definitely expect them to be big, especially because Castro's already based from. He's an Atlanta-based rapper. I don't know how he got. I don't really know his story as to how he got to Toronto and how he fucks with Fiji and how the whole connection came together. But that's why they made the mixtape. Atlanta to Canada, and they got crazy beats, crazy flows, they got lyrics. They're just unique, man. You have to fuck with Come Down Collective. Like, if you like to turn up, listen, that music will get you going. Risk, if you want to talk numbers, if you guys don't know them, the song Risk is at 1.4 million plays. What's Her Name's at 1.35 million. Atlanta the mixtape has hundreds of thousands of plays. Castro vs Fiji just came out. It's nearing hundreds of thousands of plays, and their impact online. You know what I mean? They don't have as big as Instagram followings as some of the people on the list, and as big as Twitter followings. But like I said, they're doing this on their own. They've had shows in Ottawa. They've had shows in Montreal. They've had several shows downtown. They've opened up for Playboi Carti in the States. The Migos brought them out to perform with them. So, like, they're doing their thing. They're really doing their thing, believe me. So I definitely feel they deserve to be on this list, and probably in the future they're gonna be somebody. They're definitely gonna be somebody. Jimmy Prime. Jimmy Prime's a staple in the city. Obviously, he's a Prime member. He's an OVO affiliate. He's had shows. He's at the Hoxton. We all know. Toronto's called the Six now. He's famous for coining that term. Drake even gave him his props when he was talking to Nardbar. Jimmy's a staple in the city. He's a constant fixture on OVO radio. I first got onto him when he dropped that. Like, obviously I knew about him when he dropped When the Sun Goes Down and that, but when I started listening to his music was with the Red Ferrari mixtape. I definitely fucked with that. And of recent, he dropped like an EP, I believe. It's a six tracks. It's called Bleeding Bull. well reviewed. I fuck with it. Moscow Mule, Muse. Like he has some good tracks on there. Like his production is just great all the time. He knows how to make hooks. He does something different with the effects to his voice. You know, a lot of people, everybody can just do it a certain way. I like it. Drop Out, yeah. He did a track with Murder Beats. Nah, Jimmy's working. I definitely like Jimmy. I don't have nothing bad to say about him. I think he can be bigger, and I expect him to be bigger. That's why he's made it this far on the list. I definitely expect Jimmy to be bigger. He has everything. Noisy's fucking with him. Complex is fucking with him. Fader's fucking with him. All the blogs is fucking with him. OVO's fucking with him. His music's great. Toronto, we just gotta find another way to just push him out of here and get him out of here. Jimmy's a star, and he's got a great ear for beats and production. You know what I mean? I like what he does. He has a great energy on tracks. Yeah, man. As far as the criteria, man, he checks off every box. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's a vet. Jimmy's solid, man. If you made it this far, man, you should know by now who's coming up, man. If you don't know, you're just out the loop, man. You don't really fuck with Toronto music like that. Press Machine. I have to put Presser here, man. If we talking about somebody who's the hottest, somebody who's buzzing, somebody who the people want to see what's next, it's got to be Presser, man. Ever since he came on the scene, that's what it's been. People just like, yo, where's the next track? Where's the next track? His buzz has just been steadily growing. You know what I mean? Like when I spoke about star quality, he has it. When you talk about lyrics, he has it. When you talk about controversy, he has it. When you talk about just everybody has an opinion on him. Like the thing, I'm not gonna say everybody loves Presser's music. That's false. You can talk to a lot of people and be like, yo, he's annoying as fuck. I cannot stand his voice. But then there's guys like me. Then there's guys like the people that played his tracks millions of times, like played TBH millions of times, played Demian millions of times. Like this guy's been working ever since he touched the scene. Wash Gang millions of times, and that's one thing I gotta give him. He came on the scene. He did get catapulted on the scene. Like he didn't just come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He did get the love from Robin Banks because like I said, Robin Banks had a steady fan base. But ever since he took that verse on Wash Gang, and then he did that verse on Black Mask, he never looked back. And he's versatile. You can't knock Press. A lot of people say, yo, he's just making all this music singing. First of all, the singing music, like let's talk about his mixtape. He just dropped a mixtape called Press Machine. That mixtape is fire. You know what I mean? For those that don't like it, can't get past his voice, then you just can't get past it. That's okay. But we're talking about songs like New York. We're talking about songs like Red Fox. We're talking about the intro, Wassy Collin. We're talking about Diamonds Dancing. Like, these are songs that, yo, you're going to be riding to in the summer and bob it to. You know what I mean? Like, if you're really from Toronto, you could vibe to this music. You know what I mean? Like, he makes music for people in Toronto. He makes music for people in the UK. People that he just makes good music regardless. For those that want to hear it. You know what I mean? And if we're talking lyrics, I think he's got lyrics. You know what I mean? He decides to make melodic music, which is catchy and which has helped him gain a bigger fan base. Like, bro, every time he decides to come back and spit, that's what he did Red Fox for. That's why he has 100 watts bars for. When he's really giving you some real shit. And he's putting it in with punchlines, like just like rappers really do. So like he shows you that he can do it both ways. And yeah, you know, obviously Drake put him on the tour, the Boy Meets World tour, the European tour with Smoke Dogg and Puffy, which is great. But people keep forgetting that. I see a lot of people online saying, yeah, you know, Drake made him. Yo, what Drake did was something that he could never forget. Like that's an experience you'll never forget. That's thousands of people. That's a European tour with the biggest rapper ever in his peak. You know what I mean? That's something you can never forget. You learn, get so many tools from that. But people are forgetting. If you go check before, like that tour was like 2, 3, 4 months ago. Presser was the hottest rapper in the city like a year ago. Like when he was just dropping tracks like every other month and just steadily dropping tracks, like John Connor popping, like Orange Jumpsuit, like he was really just dropping tracks and it was buzzing. And I don't think we ever seen a rapper in the city gain that type of traction and without a cosign. Like he got the cosign of recent, yeah. Like, you know, he got brought on tour. Drake showed him love. Meek Mill had him up on his Instagram. You know, they had when he did Novocaine Press, and that was big. Like that, I think that was that song and the Playboy Cardi song were one of the most played songs on Murder Beats tape. You know what I'm saying? Like he's unique, man. If you don't like him, you don't like him, and that's good. Like that's keeps people talking. I'd be like, yo, you like that guy? Yeah, I don't like him. You know what I mean? That's just, yo, bad publicity is good publicity at times. You know what I mean? So I just feel like in the city, as far as somebody who's done something without a cosign, I don't think, me personally, I have never seen a rapper gain this much in a year and a half, do this much. You know what I mean? From the city we're from, where you can't leave and cross the border, no radio, no infrastructure, no labels, no nothing. Like just you and whatever you can do. You know what I mean? I think this guy he's broken barriers along with all these guys on the list. You know what I mean? These are the guys that's gonna, from 5 years from now, hopefully they're millionaires and living off of their music. You know what I mean? Kicking down doors for the rest of Toronto. You know what I mean? But definitely Press Machine fits the list, man. He kills the criteria for talking cosigns. He's out there in London fucking with gigs. Just dropped a track called Sexy. You know what I mean? Views. You guys, this is what people in Toronto respect. Views and listens. He's got it. Followers. He's got it. What else, man? Like the cosigns, he's had it. You know, I don't know. He's worked with Tory Lanez, worked with gigs. Like these are things that a lot of artists, even in the States, can't do yet. You know what I mean? Up and coming artists in the States. So you just have to respect it, man. You have to respect it, man. He's put himself in that conversation. You know what I mean? As far as up and coming rappers around the world, like I'm not saying he's as big as Lil Yachty or any of these guys like Playboy Cardi or Famous Dex at all. But from where we're from, in this city that we're from, you know, like everybody knows how hard it is to actually make it out and actually get some type of fame and some type of notoriety for your music. You know what I mean? And for people to take note across the border. So whether it's good or bad, people hating it, but yo, Toronto's on the map now and it's making its way through the world. So yo, man, salute to all the rappers in Toronto, even the ones that ain't on the list. Yeah, man, we got to keep pushing. It's too real.